Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today for this demonstration on how to use the new T2+2. We've been getting a lot of new questions on how to use it and the capabilities of it and how it differs from the old T2+2. So we wanted to set up this session to give you a brief run through. I'm no self-proclaimed expert of using this platform either. It's new to me as well, but we've designed it to be hopefully more user-friendly and efficient. So this should be a quick demonstration. Now, before we get started, I'd like to mention that your microphones are muted and will stay muted throughout the duration of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please type them into the chat box and I will try to address them at the end. Otherwise, I will pass them on to our developer and see if he can answer them for you as well. Also, this session is being recorded and will be distributed to all of the contractors following this webinar. So you will get an email with a link to the recording of this, just in case you need it for future reference. Okay. Let's get started. You should be able to see my screen here. This is the home page of the new T2+2. You will see the address at the top here. I also put the address in the chat box, so if anybody needs it, they can find it there, and I will make sure that I send it out again to everyone via email along with this recording. So once you put in that address, you will come to what is our home page. You can always get back to this home page by clicking on the home button in the left-hand corner here. So if ever you're in the middle of a search and you'd like to go back to get to this page, remember that you can just click that there. Now, a couple other things we have at this top bar, which you may or may not need as much, but this over to the left-hand side is our icon. That will go to our main www.foresightst.com corporate homepage in case you need it for anything. It's more for marketing purposes for our clients who pay for T2+2. Next, we have Foresight Street. As you all should know, that is our YouTube channel. So if you need to get to any of our instructional videos such as this or other videos that have been performed by some of our wonderful contractors and some of the SBIR tutorials, you can go to Foresight Street to see those there. And then we also have the request a custom report. Those are for our clients who pay for T2+2 and the subscription, and they order custom reports, such as the market overviews that lots of you do. And here next is a button which I do hope that you all use. That is the feedback button. After you take a chance to look through this, we hope that you will click on the feedback button and go to our survey to answer a couple questions about what we can do to improve T2+2. Our developers always looking for some good feedback, and your opinions definitely help. Over on the left-hand side here, we have a couple of buttons. These go to our social media. So hopefully, if you have not already followed us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, click on those buttons and be sure to follow Foresight so that way you can keep up to date on whatever events we have going on and you can share with your followers as well. Here we have the help button. Now this will absolutely come in handy for you. This is the new T2+2 user guide. This shows you lots of what I will be showing you in person today. This is just a reminder of how to use different portions of T2+2. So back to the home page here. So now we have our main search bar. This is what you'll be using most often. And then below that we have the user guide again, Commercialization 101, which hopefully you have all seen before when you were doing your training. Getting started on the TNA, which is a tutorial, as you know, that Konstantin usually performs on how to do the TNA reports. Getting started on the go, no go. And down here we have a couple of tools. This is the royalty rate calculator, and soon in the future we hope to make this more like a wiki page, so we will allow you to create new documents. That is not active right now, so if you try to click on that, it will just say that you don't have permissions to use it, but we hope to have that up and running in the future. So just to give you a quick glance at the royalty rate calculator, if you're ever doing any royalty rate reports or the information at the bottom of a TNA and you would like some help in possibly doing some royalty rate calculations, you can. Let me just take a second for it to load here, just a second. And it will come up with this Excel spreadsheet. Now, once you get the industry norm amount that you would usually use from a royalty rate report or any information that you find online, you can put that information in this top box here, and then you can add and subtract different characteristics of the technology to impact its industry average royalty rate and create an adjusted rate for what you believe the technology should have for a licensing deal. So we're just going to go back to the home page again, and you can do that by clicking the back button. Now let's get into using this search bar. So here, let's do something simple like energy. Now you can, after you type in the word, you can either click enter or you can use this little magnifying glass here. And it will come up sorted by either date or report relevance. Now you can see here that you received 4,000 hits on this. As usual, as we try to train you, make sure that once you find the number of hits is very high right now. So you may want to simplify the terms or expand the terms so that way you can find more specific results. But in this case, I'm just going to show this for an example. Now you can sort by, like I said, either the report date or the relevance. Once you see the reports, in this case, I have not yet logged in. So it'll say, please log in to view the full search description. So I'm going to go into the upper right-hand corner of my screen where it says log in, and I'm going to enter my credentials. Now make sure you click Remember Me because it'll save you some time in the future. And I click Login. Okay, and now as you can see descriptions of the reports, excerpts from the reports, much more information than you could previously. And as always, you will find the report date on the right-hand side here. So let's research this. Should search by report date. Okay, let's go to one that's recent. So this is from 2016. Now you'll see this, it's much similar to the old T2+2, except it looks a lot prettier. So you can go through the reports to find relevant products, patents, different projects, and market size. So as always, everything is footnoted at the end, like your reports. Now once you're done with this report, it is in its own separate tab, so you can X out of that tab, or you can just return to the other previous tab and look for something else. So let's go to another report. Click on that, and it's a very different type of report. Product, patents, projects. Here's a couple of experts. A couple end users, market size information, and some organizations. As you can see, this is likely a TNA or some sort of custom report because we have a target profile here at the end. And as always, once you get down to the bottom of this report, you will find everything cited, and you can click on those links. In this case, it will open in the same tab. Now we're done with those reports, so we're going to X out of those tabs and go back to our main search screen. So that is how you use the main search. In that case, it was giving you all results. You may want to change this so that way you get specific results of different categories. So in this case, you'll get market data, or you'll get deal terms, industry contacts. As you folks may remember, pipeline partners are now called industry contacts, funding sources such as gap funding or VC funding, or regulations and roadmaps. So let's show you what happens when we go just market data. So we'll click on that, and it will run the search again. And as you can see, it went from 4,000 results down to 2,900. So now it's much more specific. You know that you're going to get just market data. So then you can continue as you were, choose the report, take a look at it. If that's not what you were looking for, X out of the tab, and you can find something else. You may be looking for deal terms if you're doing a royalty rate report. Go ahead and click on deal terms. It will resort itself again. And I'll show you how one of these look. Once again, it opens up in a new tab, and you will have a royalty rate report here. All of the information we have available for energy technology. Some expert opinions on the royalty rates, and an industry average royalty rate at the end, as comes in our standard reports, and all of the footnotes, which, as I mentioned before, are clickable. Now, if that's not what you're looking for, you can go back, find a different report, and continue this process. If you decide you're done with deal terms, you can go to industry contacts, find someone to talk to. So now it goes down to 73 hits on this. Now in this case, we have it set to 20 per page. So this will have 20 results on one page. If you need to go to the next page, you can either click the arrows at the bottom of the screen, or you can click the arrows at the top of the screen. Alternatively, you can change the number per page to a higher amount if you'd like to sort all the data at once. So I'm going to put it to 50 just to show you. And now we have 50 results on the screen. You can take a look at these. These are people who are industry contacts, otherwise known as pipeline partners, or people that we have talked to and they're willing to be interviewed in the future. We do hope that in the future we will expand this database to include more people besides just the pipeline partners, but also folks who are interviewed in our TNA reports and other reports, and even people that we may meet at conferences and such that are willing to be interviewed at any point in time. So we're going to click on this here, and you will see the results of this person from PepsiCo, name, email address, some of their information, all available to you. If you find that this information needs to be updated, then in the future we will plan to update that information as well. Otherwise, it's a helpful tool for you when you are doing your TNA outreach. So that is industry contacts. Now you may want to find funding sources. Lately I've been using these. If I talk to a customer and they are located in a different state or in a different country and they're looking for what types of funding is available to them, I will take a look at this area. So now you see 181 hits for energy. You can click on this, and this is a funding source, the website, a description of what they offer for funding, what type of funding it is, and some keywords to describe it. This helps us with finding these search results. I'll show you another example. As you all are familiar with, the Department of Energy SBIR program. Here's a link to it, a description of what they offer, some contact information. This can be very helpful for passing on to clients if they're looking for funding as one of their objectives in the reports that you're performing. That is funding sources. Regulations and roadmaps. Now, I caution you all on using these because they have not been updated in a while, and they are also based on publicly available information, so things that we just have scanned the web and found. So as you can see, some of these are from 2012 and on. So these can be helpful and interesting information, and sometimes you can find updated information, or it will give you ideas of stuff that you can be looking for, but not necessarily the most up-to-date information available. So you take a look at this, and you'll see that it is the organization webpage, NAICS information, where it's available, a description of what this roadmap describes or discusses. Now, as you can see, this was open in a second tab here, so you can just go ahead and X out of that if you are done with it. Otherwise, you can keep it open and use it later. Let's go back to the main search screen again. So at this point, we've gone through all of the different categories. Other things that may be of interest to you, as I mentioned before, we are currently searching by report date here. You may want to switch it over to relevance. If you are using more specific terms, then that'll be much more helpful to you. For example, something that comes up with a lot of hits here. So if you do it by report date, then we should find much more up-to-date information. See here, now we've got 2017 by searching by report date. Now if you search by relevance, it'll base it off of the number of hits and that word showing up in there. So as you can see, the information is very different for sorting. So that is about it. As you can see, the header here has lots of information for you. Most of your searches are going to be done in this search bar. All of your information can be sorted just by these tabs here. And if any point in time you want to go back to the main home page, you can click this home button here. It'll bring you right back over there. If you need to see the T2 user guide, it is here. And that is it. I'm going to check to see if we have any questions here in the question bar. Does not look like it. If anybody is having any difficulties logging into their T2+2, please contact Paula and she will make sure that your username is activated. I'll work with her on that. If you have any other questions about how to get into T2+2 or what website it is, please refer to the user guide, which was made available to every consultant, and we'll make sure to hand that back out again. It's also in here. As you can see in the user guide, it has the link up top here and all of the information on how to use this. Please make sure you use it. It is still a wonderful database and source of information when you're doing your reports. I know a lot of you used it as the previous version of T2+2. It is still here. It's still got all the same information. Just a little bit different setup. Should be a lot easier for you to use. We want to hear your feedback. As I mentioned before, please be sure to click on this feedback button at the top here. Fill in this information, and that way we know what to improve on the next version of T2+2. So without further ado, I will let you all get back to your work. Thanks for taking the time for this training today. As I told you, it was going to be quick, sweet, and short. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And, oh, actually, it looks like we've got a question here. Nope, just Greg. You're very welcome, Greg. And everybody take care. Bye-bye.